What's up, Peep Squad? Peep Squad is in the building, baby. What's going on, my peeps, my peoples? What's good with you? Let's get into the situation. So, DMX is going to be laid to rest today, and there's been celebrations of DMX life. You know, his fiance, she has said a lot of words. A lot of people have said a lot of wonderful things about DMX, and also they have told a lot of horror stories that DMX faced and things that he went through in his life and his journey in life. But he has touched so many souls. He has touched so many people. He has touched me. He has touched my heart. He has touched my soul. And I never knew how much I really loved DMX until, he passed away. I loved his music. I listened to his music. His music has changed me, has helped me, fight against the demons out here in these streets and what to look forward to when you are out here in these streets, and to be prepared and watch your back, because you never know who's around the corner, who's around the block. So DMX gave a lot of wise words, but it's just awful that he's not here, that he's gone, and he died this way. It's just really heartbreaking. It just really hurts that DMX is not here. And I know his kids are hurt, they're in pain. And a lot of us are, because we love DMX. We liked his music. We liked his soul. We liked the realness. We just like DMX because he was DMX. He was himself. He was Earl Simmons, and he was real. He was 100. And he didn't hide things from people. It was what it was with DMX. And it's just so sad that he's not here anymore. And he didn't get a chance to conquer his demon totally. And in any event, as you guys know, we had Irv Gotti. Irv Gotti came out, and Irv Gotti said some things. He gave some information on DMX and how DMX passed. So basically, Irv Gotti let the world know that DMX died of an overdose, and his crack was laced with fentanyl, which is so sad. Like, damn, fentanyl. Who puts crack on fentanyl? Like, damn, like, this fentanyl stuff is just crazy. Bobby Brown, he lost his son, and his son, with fentanyl, laced. It's just like crazy. Like, sometimes it makes you think that it was a hot shot. Like, who gave DMX the crack and the fentanyl? We need to know, like, because these people are not chemists that are out here selling this stuff. But in any event, rest in peace, DMX. We love you. We love you with all our heart. It just hurts, but it was so wonderful to see Rough Riders. It was so wonderful to just see people gathered together. I gathered with my friends, and we listened to DMX. We listened to Black Rob, R.I.P. We listened to Shock G too as well, R.I.P. It's just like, damn, like, why are all these rappers just dying like this? Like, is this a conspiracy? Like, what's going on? Like, what happened? Like, what's good? Like, this is crazy. And also, when it comes to Irv Gotti did say that DMX did have COVID. So I don't know if DMX got the COVID vaccine, but in any event, when it comes to Irv Gotti, he said DMX, was laced. He had his crack was laced with fentanyl, and he had COVID, and DMX had a heart attack. And also, he is telling the people, Irv Gotti, that DMX was brain dead. So all the stories that came out about DMX was actually true when they said that he had COVID, and also he was in a vegetated state. And when it came to Irv Gotti, he didn't want DMX to be on a ventilator, and that's why he was on a ventilator, because he had COVID. And it's like, damn, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe this is it. This is what went down. Like, damn, like, this is crazy. This COVID shit is just hell. Like, for real. DMX was only 50 years old. Black Rob was only, 50 years old, 51 years old. So it's just really just a sad situation. It just hurts so much. Like, damn, damn X, we want you here. But in any event, he's resting in peace, and he's where he always wanted to be. And that's in heaven, and that's with God, because he always talked about God. He always talked about the strength of God and how powerful God was too. So he's home with his father, and now he's an angel that can look over all the people that he loved and he cherished in his lifetime. And just to see the people that come out that didn't forget about X, that, that came out, that was out here in the streets, with COVID, and they're going to the Barclay Center in New York. And actually, I believe the visual of DMX is going to be held online. It's going to be online. It's going to be on the DMX channel. Let me show you guys again. So this is where they're going to live stream the event of laying the king to rest, laying DMX to rest. So it's just hard. It's just really hard because didn't see this for 2021, It's very deep. It just hurts. And then also to have Shock G, I'm the one that put the satin on your panties. Shock G, he's gone. He was only 57 years old. He was with Digital Underground. He did the same song. He introduced fans to Tupac. He told Tupac to get on the mic and just blast it. And, Tupac and Biggie, they knew, Shock G was on stage with him too as well. And also Shock G also produced, Tupac's single album, which was Tupacalypse Now, and he also performed the song I Get Around with Tupac. So, and Shock G was very, very important to the hip hop and rap music and the culture because he sampled a lot of funkadelic music, a lot of funk music, the Parliament, and also funkadelics and things of that nature, which other, producers went on to do the same and produce brilliant hits. And so he was into funk, he was into jazz and hip hop and rap, and he was a showman. He had showmanship. He was like James Brown. He was on that stage and he had a message. And he was positive, but he also had demons too as well when it comes to drug abuse, when it comes to drug use. It's like, damn, are they giving these rappers a hot shot? Like, what's going on? Like, this is just really, really a sad situation all the way around. And not only that, not too long ago, we lost, Bobby Brown Jr. Bobby Brown lost his son, and he had an overdose. Bobby Brown Jr. overdosed, and there was fentanyl, alcohol, and other drugs in his system too as well. Fentanyl is nothing to play with, point blank, period. And if you're getting fentanyl off these streets, you don't know who's making it. You know what I mean? They probably can't see, can't hear, can't talk. And it's just really sad. But in any event, we cherish DMX. We cherish Black Rob. And Black Rob, R.I.P., rest in peace, rest in power. And there's a lot of situations going on with Black Rob. They want, P. Diddy was supposed to pay for his funeral, or they asking him to pay for his funeral. It is what it is. Black Rob was done wrong. He had kidney failure and he passed away. And he gave a heartwarming message to DMX when he could barely talk, barely move. And that's when people actually found out that Black Rob was very sick and he was in the hospital. And it's like, damn, nobody in the industry, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, billions of dollars and everything, just I don't even know him, you know what I mean? Now all of a sudden the rumors out that P. Diddy, Puff Daddy want to pay for his funeral. In my opinion, I would rather be buried in a cardboard box or somewhere where all the other bodies are at than to have Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, pay for my funeral, because he didn't give a shit about me while I was here. And why give, Puff Daddy or P. Diddy, the accolades that he paid for his funeral when he can jump around on stage and dance and show off that he did something? No. But in any event, that's just my opinion. It is what it is. So you guys let me know what you think about the situation. But it really just hurts just to see these young Black males die at an early age. Is it a conspiracy? Like, what's going on? What's happening? These drug overdoses are just crazy. And when it comes to Irv Gotti just basically told the truth. He was like, DMX was going through so many different things. He had COVID and his drugs was laced. Who laced DMX drugs? Who gave him crack with fentanyl? And is that the first time that DMX had crack with fentanyl? Because the way that DMX looked, the last time we seen him, he didn't look like he was doing no fentanyl with no crack on top of it. Like, Lord have mercy. But in any event, look how he was carried out of here. He was in, look at that casket. This is a perfect type of funeral, service to a king like DMX, having a Rough Riders out there and then having his body, not in a hearse, but having the casket on in a pickup truck with DMX and X all over it. Everybody was out there in these streets. You know, here where I am from, people was out here in these streets playing the music, just beating with DMX. I know the neighborhood is going crazy, but we love X, we love DMX. And you know, I appreciated DMX while he was here too as well, but I just didn't know how much I loved and how much I cared for DMX, how much I'm gonna miss him knowing that he's not here. And I did meet DMX once at a club because he was performing, and he was just the nicest guy, and girls were trying to get with him and get with Rough Riders. And you know, this is when the big hats was the things and the sundresses, and DMX was like, I got a wife. And this is when he was married to his first wife, his only wife, and he jumped in the limo and he left. You know, it was just like it was like, damn, he's faithful out here in these streets, and these girls were ready. You know, even though there's been stories that DMX has cheated on his wife, but at that moment I seen him, you know, turn down, you know, the punani and keep it going. So it is what it is. But DMX, you know, was revolutionary with his music because it was just so hard. It was just so real. Like, you understood it. Like, if you live in a bad neighborhood, or you impoverished, or you didn't even know what impoverished means, or growing up in the hood, or growing up in the ghetto, growing up in hectic situations, growing up in a war zone, growing up where like there's monsters all around, you know, he gave you the insight that you can understand where he came from, who he is, what he had to see, what he had to endure. And as we know, all the stories that people have been coming out about DMX in his past, and stories that DMX has told them, you understand that his music was real. Like, he really went through that pain, and that torture he went through as a young man, as a child. A lot of people have went through that, and the reason why the music hit us so hard, because it was real. It was coming from the heart. It was no bullshit. It was no fakeness. It was real. It was real pain that he was putting on wax, because other people felt his pain too as well, and knew exactly what he was saying, because they've been through, or they heard the stories. And this is why it touched people so much. This is why we love DMX. This is why the world is, you know, in shambles about DMX, that loved him, that are out here, that are supporting DMX, because DMX was real. And it's really hard to get real people that's in Hollywood, that do music. And when you ask DMX any question, he was going to tell you the truth. Whether it was going to be bad for him or not, he was going to be 100. Watch any of his interviews. He always kept it 100. Whether it was going to be good or bad or ugly, he just kept it real. And it's just sad that he's not here. And he died this way, that, you know. So I haven't did a lot of videos about DMX because it just really hurts. And I'm a stranger compared to his family and his children and the people that were close to him. So I know they in pain, because he touched me so much. So I could only imagine how he touched his children, how he touched the people in his life, his day-to-day life, you know. When someone's so good and just have a good soul and a good heart, but damn, they went through hell and they're human, they make mistakes. So I love you, DMX. One love to you, DMX. R.I.P. to Black Rob. R.I.P. to Shock G. R.I.P. to Bobby Brown Jr. You know, rest in peace, rest in power, and hope your souls will heal and you are actually at the destination that you want to be and where you want to go. You know, thank you guys.